Hello, 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 hello. It's been a little while, about 2 weeks or so, that I haven't come on. Sorry about that. Just being a little bit busy and taking care of business. Anyway, I just wanted to come on this morning and talk about a topic that I believe is very important. And unfortunately, we don't think about it until something happens. And if you know me, I want us to get to a place where it's not where we are being reactive to stuff, but more proactive, planning. Um, I've spent too many years and time doing things backward. So when something happens, you react to it. When the climate cool down, you stop. We don't continue our plans or the things that we put in place. But nonetheless, is important, as you will know. So my first question is, as I was thinking about this, is like, have you ever wondered what life would be like if there was a short-term or long-term illness, sickness, or chronically sickness? Ever wonder what that would be like for you or a loved one, where it's not the common cold, it's not just um a 1 or 2 days, but you're talking about a couple months, more 6 months, a year, maybe 2 years. You ever wonder what that would be like for you and your loved ones? Or even if you are the person and needed care, or even if you have to be the one who give the care, I mean a caregiver. And some of the simplest things that we take for granted when we are well and up and running about is like dressing, getting dressed, eating, bathing, walking, your cognitive abilities, whether it's dementia, Alzheimer, even getting in and out of bed. You ever wonder what that would be like? Have you ever taken care of someone, a family member that was an issue for, and what was that like for you? Was it a strain in the family? Was it planned? The care, how was that, navigating that part of it? Well, believe it or not, some of us, when we think about stuff like that, we're not thinking about now. We said, oh, we're young, we don't have to worry about that right now. When I get to that stage, I will think about it. But the funny thing is that we don't know when these things will happen. A simple surgery today can land you in a place where those things that I talk about, you can't do. You can't get out of bed. You can't bathe yourself. You can't feed yourself. Those simple things. And it doesn't mean that you have to be whole. That can happen to anyone at any stage in life. So even young people. So this is one of the things we always try to delay and say, okay, this is not for now. It is for later. Of course, we hope that it's for later. And in most cases, it will be later. But what have you done? Have you even thought about it? Unfortunately, as I said, when we start to think about it is when things are too late. You know, I've seen my family member who took care of someone. What it what kind of strain it took on the person, the amount of the love that you want to give to the person, but because you're the one who is also taking care of the day to day, it's kind of hard. You have to go to work, you have to look after your own family. You have to struggle if you have more than one family members in your household. You have to try to figure out who will take care of mom or dad today, who will take care of your loved one today, how will we do the scheduling, who will take care of the costs. And unfortunately, sometimes when no one can step up, we end up in a situation where someone might have to be in a nursing home when it's not even a nursing home stage. And that's all because sometimes we do not plan. While I'm talking, if anyone want to put any question in the chat, I can answer accordingly. But as I asked during these videos, just watch, comment, share, like. You might not be the one who need the services, but you never know. Somebody else might benefit from it. One of the things that we know about caregivers, unplanned, it's usually a female who's doing the care. And you will find that many of the persons who are sick, usually a parent in some cases, don't like the idea of saying their children is seeing them in an awkward situation. They feel like their pride and dignity is being taken away. They would rather have a home health aide or care somewhere else than their loved one. But unfortunately, sometimes they have no choice. They have not planned for it, right? You would, most people, when you ask anyone, where, if you were sick, where would you want care? They would say their home. Why? Because we're most comfortable in our home. And if you notice I've noticed a lot of commercials about like getting loved one to take care of it, part of a system where if you're on Medicaid or Medicare or stuff like that, where your loved one can be the one who take care of you, except if you're a spouse and get paid in terms of like a second job, so that your loved one is not losing out on their breadwinning because they're home taking care of you. Well, when would you say that it is a good time to start to plan for this? When? As I've said a couple of times, no one want to insure a burning building. It's always good to think about these things now. Well, we'll have individuals who say, well, my children, they take care of me. But does your children know? Do they know that you have given them the responsibility to take care of you? Do they know that you have decided that if they are sick, you're gonna stay away from work, your family, your kids, and take care of you? And another question that is asked, where? Where would you get that care? Would you move in with your children? Would they come and live with you? Would they come leave their home, then come to you back and forth? Have you thought about that? And then we have individuals who are single, no children, no one to take care of them. What would happen? I know these are disturbing kind of questions, and many times we don't want to think about them. Just like the same time when I come and talk about insurance, a lot of people don't want to think about that. But you know, some of these things are part of life, and it's best to think about it. It makes transitions easier when it is thought about, and it eases the burden on the loved one. And it's not so much for you, the person who's sick. You're sick, you're in bed. Someone has to take care of you. But have you thought about it, what that would be like for the person who's taking care of you? I know my mom said, listen, I don't want nobody, take care of me like that. It's going to be hard and humiliating, as I say, for them. But it is life. I want that if it's a case where I have to take care of my loved one, I want it to be where I have somebody in my home taking care, and I'm doing this supplemental watching and supervising this, and also being the one to give love and care. You know how hard it is to give love and care to someone when you're tired as a caregiver, when you are rushing from here to there to make sure that everything is okay. Sometimes we are afraid that everyone is going to talk about us if we give the care to someone. Oh, they have their children and the children put them in a nursing home or all of these things. But the thing is that we did not prepare. And then we talk about costs. Who will pay for it? The cost of care for long-term care is usually beyond an average 2.5 years. Where would that money come from? Where? First of all, you can have your Medicare, which is for health. The other care, the secondary care is not going to come from that. Some people say, okay, well, I have Medicaid. but is your income and your assets too high to even get that kind of benefit? Some people say, I've heard I will transfer my assets so that I can get care. Okay, be careful of that, because there is a 5-year look back period where if you transfer an asset out of your name into somebody's, loved one name, it's going to be traced. And you have to spend on those assets before you can get care from Medicaid. And then you talk about the quality of care that you would get, right? So it is important as to figure out what is the cost is. If you ever want to find out, you can always Google, and I will put a note with a link as to what's the average care cost for long-term care in your community. Whether it's whatever your state is, type your state in and calculate what it is for, say, having an L-tape come into your home. For example, in New York, an average cost probably be about $25 an hour. And if you have to get round-the-clock care 24 hours, think about that amount times 24 hours and what that care is. Do you have the funds ready for it? And then if you talk about, oh, I'm going to an assisted living, what is the cost of that? On average, I have here that the cost for long-term care in an assisted living per year is about $49,000 to $56,000. Imagine, for instance, you have retired and you have your assets that you're going to live on for the rest of your life, to take care of your home and so on, but it has to be spent on health care. Worst case scenario, you come to the point where you cannot be taken care of at home anymore and you have to go into a nursing home. Well, average cost in New York is about anywhere from $90,000 to $103,000. So if you have even $500,000 in retirement or even more, divide that by that amount and see over a 2-year period what that will cost. It is always nice to know that there are ways to spread the risk of cost, and the way you spread the risk of cost is through insurance. So there's things that are called long-term care insurance. And the time that you want to look into long-term care insurance is not when you're sick. Because, as I said, burning building, don't get insured. It's when you are at a stage where you believe, you know what, I'm 45 going up, let me start to plan for this and put aside money for long-term care, that in the case I need it, it is there. You have long-term care by itself and you have long-term care in the company that I work. There's long-term care that is called a hybrid. There are ways to spread the costs. And as I said, I don't want us to wait until last minute. I think our loved one deserve the best care possible. And the way you get the best care possible is when you do it in advance. Some people might say, oh, well, I have money, I can self-insure. As I said, that is great. If you have the money, by all means, you can self-insure. But how long will your asset last? Which assets would you use first? Would you empty your bank account first? Your retirement? Will you tap into your life insurance? Does your life insurance have a rider on it that can do some of these things? I am putting this out there for us to consider. As I said, it's not necessarily the most pleasant topic, but nonetheless, it's a topic that had to be considered. If you would like to have more information about this, just conversation. As I said every time I come on here or give this invitation to say, just set up a quick 15-minute Zoom. Now, let's talk about any topic that you want to talk about in regards to financial planning. And I believe that individuals are afraid that they're going to get sold something. I'm not here to sell. I'm here to educate. So that if you ever have need for this, at least you know where to turn. What are some of the things that you can do? And then when you are ready, you do what you have to do because you know where to turn. Right? So thank you for listening to me. I hope you would watch, share, comment. If you offering the invitation again, if you want to talk further about this topic, life insurance investment, please inbox me. go to my website. I'll put my website in here, and you can contact me via my website, and I will get back to you within 24 hours, and we can talk further. So happy Monday, and have an awesome and productive week. And I look forward to talking to you next week. God willing. Have a great day. Bye.